First, it's time to take a look at the headlines on Nigerian papers this morning. And I have with me in the studio to make sense out of all of this. Jide Ologun is here with me in the studio. Jide, good morning. Good to see you.
Mike.
Great. And I have Tunji Abulamid here as well. Tunji, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you as well. Two lawyers that will help us make sense of all of these, although we're not talking about law issues this morning, but from their learned perspective, we'll be taking a look at some of these issues. Let's begin from News Direct. News Direct newspaper says, fuel queues elimination, NNPC increases daily PMS truck out with 1,661 trucks. NNPC increases daily PMS truck out with 1,661 trucks, okay? As petrol queues, black marketers surface in Abuja and others. All right. From there, let's go to the national economy. National economy is talking about 7 billion youth investment fund. Federal government opens up on 300,000 naira limit as applications surpass 3 million. Applications surpass 3 million. This is Nigeria. All right, that's the national economy. Daily Times is next now. Daily Times says commuters, motorists groan as petrol queues resurfaces. Commuters, motorists groan as petrol queues resurfaces. And certainly when these things happen, it starts from Abuja. All right, from there, let's go to Daily Trust. Daily Trust newspaper says governors unanimous on killing of all bandits, terrorists. El Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, saying this. Umahiti returnee herdsmen, stay where you are. Ebonyi governor's pronouncement in good faith. Arewa Consultative Forum is saying this. Unemployment root cause of insecurity. Fayemi is saying this. It's the governor of Ekiti State. All right. We'll certainly might be looking at this as we open discussions shortly. Leadership newspaper is next. Buhari not intimidated by secession agitations. The presidency is saying this. Buhari not intimidated by secession agitations. That's the presidency is saying this. All right, from there, let's go to the Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint, after 30 years in power, 37-year-old Kaka Debi succeeds slain father as Chadian leader. After 30 years in power, 37-year-old Kaka Debi, Muhammad Kaka Debi, succeeds slain father as Chadian leader. All right. So far from the reports we got, he is arresting some people who he feels are behind, suspected to be behind, or maybe lack of the ability to carry their duties that led to the death of the president, who happened to be his father. Now let's move to the Nation newspaper. Nation newspaper says experts, unstable Chad will worsen Nigeria's insecurity. Unstable Chad will worsen Nigeria's insecurity. Debi's death has created a vacuum in Boko Haram battle, says Buhari. Why insecurity persists by Fayemi and Uzodinma. Okay, I guess we'll also look at this because this is a fallout of the breaking news on the passing on of the president of Chad yesterday. All right, the Guardian newspaper is next. Guardian newspaper says Debi's death deals huge blow to fighting insurgency, says Buhari. And Chadian leader's exit will expose army to more Boko Haram attacks. Ezekwesili, NIA DG wants strict monitoring of situation in Chad. Okay, that's the Guardian newspaper. From there, let's go to the Vanguard. Vanguard newspaper says, federal government fumes as UK offers asylum to IPOB MASOB members. Federal government fumes as UK offers asylum to IPOB or IPOB MASOB members. UK to grant asylum to persecuted IPOB MASOB members. UK disrespectful, sabotaging terrorism fight, says the federal government. What Biafrans need, cherish most is referendum, not UK asylum. IPOB is saying this. Hannes Ndibu tasks Buhari on dialogue. UK wants to pacify the Igbo. INC is saying this, all right. All this on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. The Sun is next, and the Daily Sun says, asylum for IPOB members, federal government angry with the UK, accuses Britain of sabotaging terrorism fight, and Carlo urges South Korea to assist Nigeria in fight against insurgency. All that on the front page of the Daily Sun. The Punch newspaper is the last one we're looking at now. IPOB Masab members asylum, federal government may summon British envoy Ohaneze Afenifere back UK. UK plans amnesty for persecuted IPOB Masab members. Home Office saying this. Asylum plan disrespectful to Nigeria. It's sabotage, says Lai Mohammed. That's the Punch newspaper. All right, let's begin with this story on the front page of the Guardian, Blueprint, and the Nation newspaper, and that's the death of or the passing of the president of Chad. Now, if you see the front page of the Guardian, Debi's death deals huge blow to fighting insurgency, says Buhari. Now, we all have known how Idris Deby, the late president of Chad, has been upfront against Boko Haram all the while. And we understand from the report he was monitoring information and, visiting police and, the security agents in parts of the country. And he felt he was attacked one way or the other. Now, I wonder what you make of the fight against insurgency with Idris Deby not being president anymore from the death.
For me, I think Nigeria can solve her problems, whether Deby is gone or not. If we wake up one day and evaluate and decide that security will bring prosperity, because it's not so wise when you begin to depend on your neighbors for security, except that you can collaborate with them. But having said that, a younger person is taking over from him, his son, a 37-year-old four-star general. So, and if he were to follow the footprints of his father, the insurgents may not find it easy. And we must commend the late former president of Chad. At a time, he led the troop to repel the insurgents and flush them into Nigeria. But those guys are resolute in battling him. And of course, the most recent arose again during the election. And of course, he won the election on the 11th of April for the 6th time. He could have been the longest serving African president. And now he has lost his life, the battlefront. And I think that is also being commended, though some are saying that as the commander-in-chief, he should have allowed, he would have delegated the direct attack on the insurgents. But something remarkable here for the Sahel region is that these guys are not joking at all. They are very serious. And if you look at Chad, Chad shares border with Sudan, shares border with Libya, and some other countries. And the lesson for us is, we can pick it up from what our president said, that we have proliferation of ammunition from Libya to Nigeria. So if we have those who are focusing on Nigeria to destabilize Nigeria, we need to rise up from within, because if the will to win the battle is not strong from within, then the next question is, depending on a country like Chad and others, may not help us. But I strongly believe that when Nigeria is ready to restore security, it can be done. So he's gone.
So we have the capacity to do that.
Absolutely.
It is only dependent on when we want to.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just quoting you.
Yes, I own it.
All right, Tunji, the Muhammad Kaka, the son of Idris Deby, is the interim head of the country for now, and he's going to be running things for about 18 months before the process of transition will see. Well, at the end of 18 months, whether he is going to translate himself to be the one contesting for president at that time, nobody knows as at now yet. But So far as yesterday, we understand he has arrested some generals and even executed some who he felt failed to carry out their duty that led to the death of the president. What do you make of that kind of strategy that he is putting in place so far?
Yeah, first of all, let me just express my condolences to the people of Chad and the Africa and the world in general. The death of Idris Deby is a big loss to Africa and the world at large, because he has shown that he's a leader who can lead from the front and not from the room. So it will be too early to determine whether or not a son would do the way he has done. But looking at him and look at the strategy he's adopting now, he's going to be a tough person as well. And yes, it's good it's a good measure to quickly put people suspected to have committed the crime, to check them and put them in custody pending when the proper finding will be done. But I will not support killing them when you have not ascertained whether or not they are the actual
they were guilty.
They were guilty or not. That would be counter by that would be a lack of fear. Lack of fearing will be in that regard, and that would be tantamount to what's it called, committing a crime in that as well in that regard, because you can't deal with crime. It's not good in that regard. So I expect being a young man and having be a four-star general as well, he is going to be an asset to the country. If he wants to do like his father has played a good role in the country. He has done a wonderful job. He has written his name in gold, and then people will definitely. It's an hero as far as I'm concerned in that country. A sitting president leading war, a sitting president going to the war front is unheard of in most of the African country. They sit from their bedroom and the offices to see what is going on on the war front. So it's a big blow to the entire Chad. In fact, like the president said, the consequence of his death, if the son who's taking over now is not going to be like him, will be significant in our insecurity in Nigeria, because as it is now, except we change our tactics, except we are more serious in tackling the insecurity, because it appears the late Idris did a wonderful job at the time, pushed all the from their own end of the country and put them to our own country and say it's left for the Nigerian to take over the rest. But wow, nothing happened. So if we continue to do that, we need to up our games if we don't want the death of this man to worsen our insecurity. So we need to up our game. With or without, just like Basalogun rightly said, with or without the Chad, we should be able to secure our country without them. With them, it will help us more, because we need to collaborate with neighboring whatever.
Recall the joint military task force.
The basic work rests in our hand. We need to do more to ensure that we provide enough security. All right, and we have the capacity.
Okay. Well, when it comes to capacity, I believe that is not in doubt anywhere. It only rests
the
way Jide puts it as when we are ready. When Nigeria
whether we are using the capacity to our advantage, I understand.
Jide said when Nigeria is ready, what will happen will happen. But the point there is, let us flip the coin on the other hand. Muhammad Kaka is a military officer, and being head of the country at this time, it takes us back to the issue of military rule, which has been condemned in many parts of the world, if not across the world. Talk to us from that window, because there seem to be, the body language seemed to be positive towards him, instead of saying military should go and the civilian system should be put in place.
And like I said, an election just took place on the 11th of April, and the father won. So what happened after the death of the father was the dissolution of the cabinet for him to come in, so introducing the military rule. And we expect that France, that was the colonial master of Chad, should be interested, and some other world powers. But this is a peculiar situation, and he's just going to manage Chad for 18 months, which is an interim issue. But if you know Africa very well, the Jews of the State House may not allow him to go after 18 months. And it's remarkable.
That's 1.5 years.
Exactly, to talk about leadership. Deby managed Chad for about over 30 years. And reportedly, Chad has gold, uranium, oil. I think they joined the oil producing around 2003 or thereabout. And is still a poor country in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the wealth of the people and things like that. So, and the question you ask yourself is, what is wrong with Africa? And Chad is like the 3 times of the size of California. So it's an endowed community. And again, learning from our own country, what we can do to ensure that we don't get worse impacted with this. This battle took place in the northern part of Chad. The battle we are having in Nigeria also emanated from the northern part of the country, from the Bay region, the Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states, which is now spreading like cancer in the body to every part of the nation. So how do we begin to have the mindset of prosperity, that we are not created for crisis? Because Chad has been battling with insurgency for long. Sometimes Libya even attacked and things like that. So, and any nation that is exposed to insurgency and you have sustained insurgency in quote or sustained terrorism may not dream about prosperity, and that is where my concern is. So it's not about who is leading, it's about what the leader wants to achieve. And we have some examples across Africa. We have learned from the case of Rwanda. After the genocide, Paul Kagame came into leadership and decided to make a U-turn that no, we are not going to hell. Let's begin to come to the light. And the first thing he did was to abolish ethnicity, and they moved on. Now it's a fast-growing economy. Because if you look at Chad, ethnicity and religious crises are issues they are dealing with. And of course, these are our friends, you know. And you talk about Niger Republic. The new president of Niger Republic visited our president, his first visit. When our president was sworn in also in May 2015, the first country he visited, I think on the 3rd of June, was Niger Republic, and the 4th of June, Chad, and I think thereafter to Germany. So we need to ask a simple question: what is the essence of governance? So if this new leader of Chad wants the people to rejoice, wants the economy to be vibrant, then he may begin to look beyond just fighting insurgency and finding a way of restoring security, rebranding the governance structure, educating the people to embrace one another, to enjoy the resources God has deposited in Chad. And having said that, I wish my country the same also. Now, just look at it, all the proven gas. We have the largest reserve of proven gas in Africa. We have oil, we have the second largest deposit of bitumen in the whole world. We have the brains and everything. So I think for me, Africa should begin to look beyond staying for 35 years in office, my son will take over, to what do we achieve with leadership. And that is just the way I feel. But looking at the sunshade of the sun, we are waiting to see whether he will be more good governance prone, or he wants to continue to fight insurgency. If you put all your resources in fighting insurgency, they too are not relaxing. They have global support and things like that. And for them, it's a passionate attack.
All right, Tunji, Muhammad Kaka is someone who one would describe as being born with a silver spoon. He's been in the presidency almost all his life.
Yes.
When it comes to what daddy is the president. He was born into daddy being at the top of things, and as the case may be. Would you see that as an asset he can use when it comes to understanding, governance and being exposed to, some of the things that he has done here and there, some of the persons who are responsible for this and here, here and there. Would you see that as an asset?
I don't want to see that as an asset.
Okay.
Because even from what the performance of his dad, most of the area the dad has done wonderfully well. War, known to all of us well, is area of insecurity, leading the fight against insurgency in the country.
Leading the troops from the front.
When you talk about economy, what is the standard of living of the people in Chad? What is the nature of how they live? Are they comfortable? Are they okay? Are their welfare take good? Those questions are there. But I'm worried. I'm surprised that having conducted an election, and we have a civilian president, and that president died. Why the military? Don't they have? I don't know about that. I don't know their law. But I was expecting that the deputy or whoever that is next to, or the next person in command will be sworn in as the president. But alas, we are here back to military regime, and people are not. Most people, they are not. I'm not sure they are complaining in their country. Probably because they are also concerned about the issue of fighting insurgency and such. So the issue of having been born because he was born just born few years
before that he became president.
Was it before he became president? Yes.
Yeah,
so he became president.
So
he has all along been at the presidency and then enjoying himself. He may not even understand what the common ones are going through. That's why I said I would not want to see the.
Okay, see him as an asset.
Because he may not even understand the quality of life of people. He may not even know the worry and the way they are living, they are surviving their spirit. He may not understand that. But he is always, what I've been seeing about them now is about fighting the insurgency, and that's why he's starting by arresting and trying to see whether or not he can prosecute people who are, or take them into custody, those who he is suspected to have committed the crime. So I will not see him as in that regard, but let's give him an opportunity to look at him and see whether or not he will make a change.
Jide, a 37-year-old that is a 4-star general, well, this is not to say whether he has the competence or capacity to, but the point there is that's youthfulness, because a general is supposed to be, in our own mind, a general is someone who has spent a number of years fighting different wars. So when it comes to even psychologically managing people and so on, he is there, advanced in knowledge and experience. 37-year-old, his youthfulness somehow, certainly, we're going to see that element. What concerns do you have from that?
It can be an advantage
if
he's positively focused and has a vision for development. I mean, Joseph became prime minister in Egypt at the age of 30 or thereabout. And when you read about David pulling down Goliath, David was not 75 when he pulled down Goliath. And General Gowon in Nigeria became the head of state within that age bracket, if not younger. So young people have really occupied offices. And it's not about the age, really, though you need a level of maturity, but what you want to achieve. And within the global context, good governance is not a difficult thing. You can study. You can even go, for example. You can
consult, collaborate.
Exactly. For example, now, we are complaining in Nigeria that the UK is granting asylum to IPOB, and we are saying it's an insult to Nigeria. What about the medical asylum we seek in the UK? Is it not an insult to Nigeria? We choose to ignore that. So why don't we study why the medical facilities work in the UK, what we need to do to ensure that in Nigeria? Why right now all schools in China reportedly have access to the internet? How can we manage that in Nigeria? Why the United States of America in all the 50 states can provide electricity 24/7? Why can't you replace? You don't need to be traveling, globetrotting to know how things are done. In fact, right on your phone, you can bring
if you want to know,
to the people. So if he wants development, why not? But if he's just focused on fighting insecurity, then it's like a carpenter whose only tool is hammer. Every problem will appear like a nail. Just hit it. And in Africa, we need to shift attention to the people. Look at the summary now. The president has been there for over 30 years, and the summary is that your people are poor, the infrastructures are weak, there is insurgency, and that is what we say about history. He cannot resurrect now, except a miracle happen to reverse that. All right, so we all need to be careful when we are given responsibilities to lead countries, particularly with huge resources. You know, so because it's one thing to have the resources, it's another thing to be resourceful with the resources. So if I have the opportunity of advising him, in this new normal, if you don't excel, it's by choice. The opportunities are there. You can ride on the shoulders of giants. Go and learn how it's done in China. China is already engaging mass. You know, a lot of great things are happening. You know, IT and things like that. And the possibilities are endless. About the age, it's an advantage.
Okay.
If he
so we should see it that
on
way. We should see it that way.
He has the strength and everything.
Okay.
You know.
So age is on his side. So we should see it as something he can take advantage of. Now, the other thing Tunji, you mentioned earlier is the role of France. Oh, okay. I understand we have to leave you here now. But this is a topic that certainly we'll dissect as we get along. All right. Thank you so much for coming, Jide Ologun. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you. God help Nigeria.
Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
And Ramadan Kareem.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we are together. We are solidarity. You're fasting together, so we can.
We are one.
We are one, of course.
Are you really fasting, Mike?
I know we do in solidarity. Solidarity. We used to do it. It's really nice
by proxy.
Oh yeah.